Hi everyone, welcome if you're new, and if you're returning, welcome. So I'm already tuned in. I've already got the energy that's coming through. Some of you know that I live kind of like in a wooded valley, and down in the valley, I'm like way up high over this valley. Down into the valley, there's these deer. And I've been seeing these two deer for the last few days. Usually there's like 10 or 15, and these two deer have been off on their own. And one deer keeps leading the other deer. I noticed that one is leading and the other one's kind of following. So I don't know if it's like a mom and a daughter or something, but I don't think that really matters. The point is that there's two. And so there seems to be, in this collective, there seems to be something happening where our path, we're kind of being guided at this time, whether you feel that that's by an actual person who may be helping you along in your journey, or if it's like a spirit guide, for example, that you're currently learning from. But there does seem to be something that we're following, or that we're learning from in some way. Okay. Okay. Whoever this message is for, we have the Five of Cups, and then we have the Ten of Swords. So this is the Five of Lotuses, or the Five of Cups. So I'll show you the two images. There's one there with the boat sinking, and one there with somebody dropping things into the water. So the Five of Cups in traditional tarot is really about the things that we're mourning, the things that we're grieving, the things that we've lost. This usually has a sense for me when I see the Five of Cups of something that we never fully quite recovered from. We've never got parts of ourselves back, right? The Five of Cups, he'll never get his home or his sense of home or safety back because it's on the other side of the river and he's basically been exiled. So what we have, though, showing up for this energy is that there's something that's rapidly changing in that energy. And this is what it's being represented by. It's the Ten of Swords. So on one hand here, you see this bird carrying this man. Oh, let's see. A bird carrying a man, and the man has all these swords in him. So this represents betrayals, hurts, things that we grieved, things that we mourned. And then when we look at it the other way, it is vultures picking a carcass. So for some of you, this phase of our life, the things that we have pondered, the things that we've gotten caught up in, it's kind of a message that's coming through that you've basically learned everything that you can from it, and so now your life is going to start moving on. With the swords, the Ten of Swords, I always say that it's about the mental anguish, right? The overthinking, the overanalyzing, the being stuck in our own mind with the Eight of Swords, and then the worries and fears from the Nine of Swords, finally basically giving up the ghost with the Ten of Swords. So someone here, it's almost like that energy is about to lift in your life, or it is lifting, and it does feel like it's a direct process to what I mentioned as I was looking outside the window here. So let's see. Okay, and we have the Eight of Swords. So again, this is about worries. There still seems to be, and then we have a tornado. So I want to talk about this image just a little bit. There still seems to be a little bit of worry, though. In this, leaving this behind, in some way, it feels a little bit to me like somebody's pushing on that brake, or they're trying to perceive outcomes that maybe aren't necessarily what the outcome's going to be. It's a little bit of bringing that overthinking energy with us from the past and placing it onto a current situation here where things are trying to change, but they can't change if we're bringing the same energy. There's also something going on in here with that tornado, that there may be a little bit of an energy or an emotional storm that's taking place in some way due to this. When I see the tornado energy in cards, it always makes me think of something unraveling. And so we may be finding that there's parts of ourselves that are completely unraveling right now, and we may be struggling to hold them together, right? Because that's a scary feeling. I'm going to lose myself, right? And the message that's kind of coming through is that it's not a losing of yourself. It's all the aspects of yourself that no longer serve you are trying to be pulled away so that you can be left with what remains. Someone here has then been asking, what is my path? Who am I? Things like that. Those very core identity questions. Okay, and then we have the 10 of Embers. There are a lot of higher numbers, so 10, 8, 10. which means someone is coming to the end of a cycle here inside of their life. So we have the 10 of Wands, and the Wands represents hard work, right? It's funny because this 10 of Wands, most of the 10s, I wonder if they all have comments inside of this deck. But with the 10 of Wands, what we're really seeing is the man's walking through a forest, and he looks kind of downtrodden. He's looking down, and he doesn't realize that all those forests have these beautiful flowering vines on them. And there's a very Van Gogh imagery inside of this deck, just with the brush strokes. So there's something about old master coming through. So one of the things that may be happening here is that a person feels very burdened because they're still serving an old master in that symbolic sense, where they're used to thinking the way that they used to think, they're used to feeling the way that they used to feel, going after the things that they used to go after. And maybe it's time for somebody to step back and ask themselves, I've changed, and what are the things that I'm currently doing in my life, or the ways that I'm thinking in my life that I know I no longer currently think, or that I really want to do, right? Someone here may be burdened or feeling like the transition from where we've been to where we're going is really difficult emotionally or mentally, maybe even energetically, because in some way there seems to be something that we're holding on to that just can't come with us, and so that creates this friction. Yeah, we have the Ace of Swords as well, and so that tells us our advice. We have this beautiful snowman here with the bird snowman, so that might be important for somebody. And then we have this Ace of Swords. So for me, the Ace of Swords always speaks about two things. It talks about the need for clarity, right? The need for clarity and focus, and then it speaks about the need to clear what is not part of that clarity and focus away. So again, we have that theme coming up over and over inside of these cards. So let's see. Ugh, weird. Okay, so I just heard, and I was just about to say it when this fell out, I just heard Lover's Embrace, and then I see this. This is Stargate, heart chakra opening up, unlocking, and generosity. The reason why I heard that is because I'm looking out, and those two deer now, they have their necks are crossed, like they're trying to keep each other warm. And it's not a romance reading. It's not that. It's just that it's that energy of being held by love, right? It's that kind of energy. Someone here, what this is saying is that somebody's on this very long path to opening up their heart space again. This path seems to be filled with this. This is at the bottom of the deck. You guys know I read the bottom of the deck to read the overall energy. We have the divine matrix, interconnectedness, synchronicity, and coincidences. So a lot of coincidences and synchronicities are happening for somebody. That Thoth reading I did may be important for somebody just because the Merkaba, the above and below, are showing up again, especially in that color. And the cards I pulled were very bird heavy. So, yeah. All right, let's see. I will have that linked at the end of this reading. What cards? Okay. That one was the gateway activation of light or something like that. Tarot, I don't know. I'm so bad about this. All right. Share your voice, come out of the cave, persecution, expression. Some of you may be learning how to share the things that you think and that you feel. This may be part of this path. Okay. There's birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. And so I feel like this is the challenge. The challenge is to actually perceive of new things happening for you and new opportunities happening for you. And this is kind of the warning here. I feel like this is a warning, and it's boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? So I'll show both of these cards. So this is the birthing a new age, and this is boundaries, where you need to establish better boundaries. I'm being told to pull one card for what it is that you don't see. Okay. So for what it is you don't see, it's trust in your path. If you knew you would be supported, in other words, if you knew everything that you wanted would work out, what would you do? What are the choices that you would make? What are the things that you would pick for yourself? What would you dive into? And this is kind of the thing is that by stepping into that energy and doing those things, you are literally healing this cycle, or healing whatever this energy is that's still connected to you that you're trying to leave behind. So in putting on that break that I discussed earlier, that is the process of us staying hindered because of some sort of past phenomenon or past like situation. So that's really the message that's coming through here. Let's go ahead and let's pull some more cards. Okay. The overarching theme is that not only is this about opening up that heart space with this card, right? It's not just about opening up that heart space, but when we open up that heart space, there's something that starts to happen. We start to really get to our authentic self. This is the Many Masks card. And this is the card about releasing aspects of ourself that we needed sometimes to protect ourselves, or habits and behaviors that we had sometimes to get the things that we needed out of our life. Or, you know, all those things, all those like identities, all those protective layers that we've built up, all those I can'ts because, and then we follow through with why we can't, you know, all of those things. These are all things that are falling away, and someone is really getting to the core of who it is that they are. I almost feel that somebody's going to be very surprised to find that when they get into that core of who they are, they're going to find that there's very little there. There's very little that they can quantify. Right? We're always looking for this like grand revelation, and sometimes there's nothing. And that's the whole point, right? Is that you're literally dictating who you are and how you're showing up. And there is this energy here that there's somebody there that's really going to find this, and it might be confusing, which is why this part of this message is coming through. So we have this dragon's horde protecting the future. Again, this comes in with that Better Boundaries card. And so this feels like this is going to be a challenge. It's almost as though when somebody really understands that they don't, it's like this feeling of, I don't know who I am because I can't feel or find anything in there that's solid. You're looking for something solid, and that's not how this works, right? The solid is for the 3D. For your internal essence, this is very fluid. Of course, there's things that you like, things that you don't like. There's things that you believe, things that you don't believe. But when you're looking for something solid in the midst of all of that, I think that whoever I'm reading for, you're going to be a little hard-pressed to find that. That doesn't mean that you're not a strong person, right? In some ways, when we get comfortable in that fluidity, that's when we have the most strength. Here with Dragon's Horde protecting the future, that fluidity seems to make somebody an empath. So I do want to say that. Again, I don't feel that everybody's going to find that they have that fluidity. I think that there's someone here who is an empath who is going to find that that's the case. The reason why I'm getting that, I don't know if you can even see it inside this card right now, but there's these fine lines that look like water going across this person, almost giving them this feeling of being very ethereal and not really having a solid shape. Reflecting is something I just heard, being a constant reflection. I have Dragon's Sword protecting the future. Because of that, it is important to have good boundaries so that you protect your energy. There are certain things that I feel that somebody has fallen into that do have that cyclic nature, again, with that cycle, repeating of patterns. It's a really good time to really kind of step up the discernment. Especially when we're going through a cycle like this where we are unraveling. That lack of discernment that we may have just because of our heart space healing or being very vulnerable or thinking that that's what we have to give all the time is really going to prevent us from being able to discern when something is maybe manipulating us or not necessarily looking out for our best interest. So be careful of where your energy is going and how you're giving your energy and who you're giving your energy to, the situations that they're caught up in and what they're requiring of you and the positions that they're putting you in, right? Be careful of those things. Here we have transpersonal. This is all about the interconnection that we have with other people. And, everybody has a different idea of who other people are. Some people think that other people are them living living other lives. Some people think that it's just all one in one moment and that the individuation is an illusion. Some people think that they are our reflection. So whatever it is that you perceive it to be, this is about that connection with others. And for some of you, it may extend beyond that, right? It might be a connection between you and the perceived universe. And this is a new adventure, movement towards adventure. There's a lot to learn here, but there's a lot of play to be had here. There's a lot of experience and exploration. And right now it feels like somebody is just in this very brief pause of rest and renewal. And I don't know that everybody feels like it's rest and renewal. So what that means is that things are about to pick up. Especially with that 8 of Swords that was coming up. It was that sense of being trapped, of being held back. And I do feel that that tower that was, I'm sorry, not the tower, the 10 of Swords that's coming in is kind of the breaking of that feeling so that now we take flight. Okay. Okay, they're telling me one more. All right, from this. Okay, and because of the, okay, this, yes, okay, and then, okay, the next 3, let's see, 1, 2, and then 3, okay, oh my god, okay, oh wow, there's a lot going on here, okay, yes, alright, so, okay, I thought this reading was almost over. Apparently not. There's a lot going on here. So we have this Earth Star activation. This is advice again. It's anchoring, grounding, action, Isis energy. The goddess Isis might even be important here. I do have a very heavy vibe of like Egypt. I also have a very heavy time of a time before coming through. Again, we have that Merkaba showing up again. So that as above, so below. So you may resonate with that Thoth reading. I will, or that Thoth, I will, link that at the very end of this video. So there is these 3. Okay, it's actually 4. So it's these 4 that came out. They told me 3, there are 4. It's a surprise. And this is what changes things. We have Holy Grail, inner discovery, finding sacredness. You are what you seek. And this is ultimately the realization that somebody is going to understand once they get these masks off. Somebody already knows that they're seeking themselves, right? When people tell me that they want a teacher, it's funny. I always want to tell people, even though I step in a teacher role a lot, like I always tell people if they're really looking for the true teacher to go look in the mirror. You yourself are your greatest teacher. And this is kind of what somebody already knows or is coming to the conclusion of here. And this whole quest seems to be to take these masks off, to figure out who we are, to figure out our place in everything, and to find that sacredness inside. Here we have the Lemurian seed codes, embracing sensitivity, uniqueness, living with grace. And so somebody is learning to step their authenticity up a little bit. There are other areas of the life where we're discovering greater authenticity through this path, and also to share that vulnerability, right, with embracing sensitivity. So again, there's a lot of heart space elements coming up, especially with this heart of source, all-encompassing love, unconditional acceptance, and serenity. The message is coming through is that this is a force. It is a force that comes through us. However, we determine how we use this force and where we give this, right? And that is the message of protecting the future, Earth Star activation, to act in a way in which we have good boundaries, where we are a good steward of this energy, using discernment and using it in a very grounded, practical way. Here we have Anunnaki light codes, energetic shift, new information, end of a cycle. So this new path that somebody has stepped on, it is the culmination of a very old story. When I see this card, this is talking about discovering in some essences our own godhood, and how we are leaving behind an aspect of the 3D matrix, like fear and slavery complex. And so we no longer are getting wrapped up in the things that we were getting wrapped up in before, because we understand that it's all part of the illusion. This is the theme that's been coming out in my readings for the last maybe 2 weeks, is this waking out of this grand illusion. And here with the Anunnaki light codes, this is something that has the soul has been working on for a very long time. When I get this card, it tells me that this has been an ancient mission that has been ingrained into somebody, and that somebody is coming to the end of that particular part of this mission that maybe for whatever reason we've never actually accomplished. Maybe we died in every life before we were able to get to it. Maybe other things happened, great movements within our culture and our society. There's something here that this time is the time where we have the space to actually accomplish this. And so now your soul is about to step onto a new path with a new lesson, and it does feel like it has a great deal to do with that heart space. What we provide humanity, what we provide our immediate circle, what we provide another person, and also what in turn we provide ourselves first and foremost. There is owls stood out to me when I did the Hecate reading, and I'm having owls stand out to me again. It's like I never realized I had so many owls in this room until I did that reading, and they all just kind of jumped out at me again. So I'm getting some symbols here. Owl apparently is a symbol for somebody, and then seraphim is a symbol for somebody. The sun with the sun rays is a symbol for somebody. And if you're new to my channel, if these symbols don't resonate for you, it doesn't mean that it's not your reading. It just means that the people who that resonates for should pay extra attention. I'm also seeing like a black wand and snake imagery. Snake imagery is very important for somebody. Okay, I'm being told to take one last card. Okay. So it's almost as though there's something else that's entering into this story. I don't know if it's entering in or if it's growing through this story. What is this? It's like not the right time until we're about to finish this, whatever this is. Okay. Here, and pull more. Ooh, okay. It has something to do with love. Yeah. It has something to do with love. That's why the heart space had to open. Okay, so this heart space thing, this seems to be a block or a wound that has been carried through lifetimes. Because like I said, this is an ancient thing that we've been working on. It's some way that our particular soul has been trying to express but hasn't been able to. And that's why it may have been so hard in this lifetime. There may have been a lot of things that damaged the heart space that caused us to try to open it up. So we have unity. So the coming together of things. We have the bright mother, which is all about like sensuality, nurturing, caring, all those really warm, comfortable sort of feelings. And then we have death. So this is about the transition of this energy into this. And this energy here is the fairy that was kissed by the pixies. This is about love. This is about that very beautiful, like sparkly, because she's on my card, sparkling, very sparkly, like giddy sort of love that kind of develops here through this story into something deeper. We have Lice the Moon's daughter, so there's this idea of the things that we keep hidden, right, and the things that we start to illuminate because we're beginning to work on mastering ourselves. This is the master maker. And then the Green Woman. This is where all the things that we've done now culminate and bear fruit, right? This is also the taking down of a mask. It almost feels like in this entire story, this entire process, there is this energy that starts to grow or come in, and this energy transforms into an energy of love, and that taking down of the mask to be able to fully embrace and accept that is the end of this lesson. So it almost gives me this vibe that a person has, they've loved people, they've cared about people, and then they actually have this moment where they learn what love really is. So whoever this message is for, I hope this resonates for you. If this reading resonates for you, please hit that like button. Feel free to leave me a comment. And until next time.